Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day. I bid to our respected speaker, Dr. Anya Ratnetrapong, lecturer at Mahasarakam University. Our reporter today is Fatia Imani Muhammad Shukri, fellow teachers, students and all parents. Thank you to each and every one of you who joined us today in the Escape Pakbar communities as well as those who are new to us. Maybe you haven't heard Bagus TV before. So on behalf of Bagus TV, we are very pleased and delighted to welcome each of you in today's webinar, The World is a Book Teaching and Learning English in Thailand with Dr. Anya Rai. As a teacher, I know that we are very excited because as a teacher, we must know what are the right teaching methodologies for our students because it can produce impactful learning lesson for our students. So I am teacher Azra, will be your host for today. So in today's webinar, Dr. Anya and Fatia will Q will Fatia will conduct Q&A section with Dr. Anya and then I will pick few questions from the comment sections to be answered by Dr. Anya. So without delay the time, I will pass the floor to our reporter today, Sis Fatia, for the introduction.
Hello and a very good day. I bid to our panel today, Dr. Anya Ratnetrapong, our moderator, teacher Azira Aziz, teachers, parents and students. I am Fatia Imani binti Muhammad Shukri from Bagus TV. SK Pakbar will be your reporter today. Today, we have a webinar entitled The World is a Book Teaching and Learning English in Thailand with Dr. Anya. Now I will pass the floor to teacher Azira.
Okay, thank you Sis Fatia for the introduction. Well, let me briefly introduce you our panel today, Dr. Anya Rat. She is a lecturer at Department of Western Languages and Linguistics, Faculty of Humanities and Social Science in Mahasarakam University, or known as MSU in Thailand. In addition, she possesses great research skills and currently she is being appointed as the head of language, culture and global citizenship in research unit. She also accomplished her PhD in University of Warwick, United Kingdom. Wow. In English language teaching and applied linguistics. Dr. Anya, how are you? How are you, doctor?
How are you, Asira and Fatia?
I am fine. It is a pleasure for me to meet you again actually after 3 to 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, for your information,
We met
Doctor.
when we met at Dongsil University in South Korea when you went to
Yeah, in
the A.
2018 or 2019.
Right.
Yeah, for your
2018.
information, Dr. Anya is my TEFL lecturer when I took Asia summer program in Dongsu University in Korea. And I think there are so much things to be learned from her, especially on TEFL and also TESOL kids. So if you have any questions to ask her, feel free to chat in our chat box session. Or maybe if you just want to say hi or if you have any comment, just chat in our chat box section because after this, I will pick few questions to be answered for Dr. Anya. But before the Q&A section, let's watch a video on MSU.
Sorry for the technical issue. We are going to play the video again in the end. Hello, Dr. Anya. I am Fatia. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you doing?
I good. Hello, Dr. Anya. Question number 1. Dr. Anya describes an English lesson that you enjoyed delivering to a classroom.
Okay, so for an English lesson that I enjoyed delivering, to my students or in my classroom, well, actually, I have many, um, and I just cannot talk about a particular one, but usually I love the English lessons that engage the students in the learning process. So usually, um, I try to like think about what my students are interested in learning, knowing, and doing, and then I try to design, tasks and activities that can kind of like get their attention, spark their interest and curiosity. So I think that is a very good starting point for designing and engaging lesson actually. And then the rest is something about my relationship with the students. I think it's very important for teachers to establish good relationships with the students. So when you have good relationships with your students, then they can kind of like talk to you. You know, the students are confident to talk about anything with you, ask questions, and they are confident to approach you and just like do anything that could help both you and your students um, facilitate, like both the teaching and learning in the classroom. I'm not sure whether the
I
audience.
love in my English.
Yeah, Fatir, go ahead.
I love English tasks in my English class. Question number 2. Dr. Anya, how do you get a parent or guardian engaged in the learning process?
Well, actually, because I teach university students, so usually we don't really have direct contact or like interactions with the parents or the guardians. Um, but whatever we do for them, we always think about their parents or their guardians. For example, MSU or Mahasarakam University is a regional university, meaning we are not in Bangkok. We are located approximately 600 kilometers from Bangkok. And some of the students, I could tell maybe half of them or even more, are from underprivileged backgrounds. So um, when we plan our lessons or any activities, both inside and outside of the classroom, we usually think about their backgrounds. And for me, I think it's something that we do for their parents and their guardians, like because the children are with us, so we cared about where they're coming from, and we try to help them adjust to a new environment, and to kind of like benefit from whatever we are organizing for them at the university, both inside of the classroom and outside of the classrooms. Good question, Fatir.
Parent support is very important.
Yes.
Question number 3. Dr. Anya, what's the best advice you have given about teaching and learning English in Thailand?
Hmm. Um, I think if I can give some advice to the teachers in Thailand, I think I would like to encourage them to feel empowered to do like everything they can to help their students in the classroom. I think teachers um, usually schools in Thailand are quite different from one another. So if you teach in urban areas, you might have better opportunities um, to kind of like learn about new things, or you might have a better access to resources. But if you're in rural areas, you might uh, things might be more challenging for you. So if you work in low resource contexts, I would like to kind of like encourage you to do whatever you think will benefit your students. I think the teachers are like I want the teachers to acknowledge their voice, power, and agency. You can do anything to help your students. So just like I want them to feel empowered to do anything to help the students. And for the students, I think if they're if they're in classrooms with teachers who care about their well-being, um, I think they can sense that, and then you know they know that people cared about them and cared about their learning. The teachers cared about their well-being, and then I think the students will just kind of like be more curious and motivated to to learn accordingly. I'm not sure whether I answer your question or not. Did did I answer your question, Fatir?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, motivation is important.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Next questions. Dr. Anya, what are some successful teaching methods that you use to grab your students' interest in learning?
Um, I think there's no one size fit all teaching method. You cannot just use one teaching method that works all across the board, or just a couple of teaching methods. I think the teachers need to keep themselves updated, you know, with new ideas and techniques, and the teachers need to kind of like be exposed to different teaching innovations, and like kind of learned about new things and try to implement the new ideas and innovations in the classroom. I think that is very important. and and then when the teachers have knowledge and skills, they can then design the lessons that are suitable, or um, that are appropriate for their students. So, in my opinion, I think teachers know what is plausible or what works in the classrooms. So something that works today with this particular group of students might not work tomorrow, even with the same group of students. So that's why the teachers need to be, like exposed to different ideas and keep themselves up to date. And like always learn about new things and innovations and try different things in the classroom with caution. Was it a long answer for the year?
No, it's okay.
All right. Any more questions, please?
Question number 5. Dr. Anya, how do you incorporate reading habits among the students and teachers?
Hmm. Well, actually, I do this more implicitly than explicitly. Um, I don't really kind of like tell people to read because I think reading, we should have a pleasure in reading. Some people talk about reading for pleasure, right? But I think we should also like have a pleasure in reading. That means you're passionate about knowing more, like about things around you, or getting to know more about the world around you. That's why you read, right? So I tend to do this more implicitly. I might talk about something interesting, something new, something relatable to the students' lives, and something useful, and then tell the students where the information comes from. Then they know the sources of information, and if they're interested, they might go and read more for them, or they might, like, the more we talk, the more we kind of like learn about new things together, the more the students become aware of the importance of reading. So it's through our interactions and talks in the classroom that I kind of like indirectly encourage the students to learn to read. Yeah, all good questions for here so far.
Reading is important to students to gain knowledge. Question number 6. Dr. Anya, what would you do if you had a student whose grades are sleeping or he's misbehaving in class?
Hmm. I think talking is very important. Like, I'll talk with the students and ask them about the problems, and ask them what I can do to help them. And we'll try to solve the problems together. And something that is more important than talking is listening. So I need to listen to the students, and, to make them kind of like know that they can rely on me, they can trust me, and to kind of let them know that I care about them. So I'll talk with the students, listen to their problems, and spend more time with them and try to solve the problems together with them.
Okay, doctor. Last questions. Dr. Anya, any last advice for all the students and teachers in teaching and learning English?
Hmm. Well, actually, if you're not interested in languages, it might be difficult for me to convince you that English is very important. um, I think if you want to know more about the world outside of your own, for example, if you know one language, like, for example, if I just knew Thai, then I could only read things in Thai, watch Thai TV, and and just interact with Thai speaking people. But if I know one more language, for example, if I know English, I can use websites, to like search for information, to learn more about the world, and I can use English to communicate with people from other countries. So I can talk with people from around the world. I can write emails. I can, like, call anyone. I can read English and understand everything. I don't need people to help me understand the language. So I think English is like a key to help you, like open a new door or new opportunity to the world. So that's why English, and maybe, like if you know more than English, that would be, like a plus. But if you know English, I think you can go anywhere in the world, and you can simply in Malaysia or Thailand, but still know what's going on in the world and see the world, you know, in a different light. Yeah. Wow, all good questions for dear.
Yes, English is an international language. Thank you, Dr. Anya. I believe that we as students and teachers can learn a lot from this session. Now I will pass to teacher Azira.
Thank you, Fatia.
Thank you, Dr. Anya and Fatia, for the Q&A section. There are many useful tips that could be applied in an ESL classroom. Now, I will ask Dr. Anya a few questions, I think more to teaching English. Okay, so before you said that it's 21st century right now, so there are many new things that teachers should adapt. So for you, what are the skills, 21st century skills that teachers need to that teachers required to master in current situation? In your opinion, what do you think, Doctor?
Uh, that is a very interesting question. Kind of difficult to answer, but I think it is the same in all professions nowadays. And it's, things that the students nowadays need to acquire. We as teachers also need to acquire those skills as well. I think we might call them transferable skills. Like whenever you apply for a job somewhere, they'll look at your skills and see whether your skills are transferable, meaning, um, you know if they place you like anywhere in the world, you can just like work or live there, and with no problems. So I think the skills that the teachers nowadays need to have are those transferable skills, including communication skills, people skills, leadership, creativity, and a lot more. So we cannot just go by the book anymore, because our students, uh, you know, uh, can just like Google, or like go search something on the internet, and then they have information, maybe the same or even like much more information to share with us. So we also like need to kind of stay open-minded and learn about new things as well. Yeah.
Yes, I think that as a teacher, we always have to adapt to the situation. What are the because the teaching methods are changing according to the time, according to our students, right? So, Doctor, maybe another question. What are some challenges that you face in teaching English?
Mm. um but as I told Fatia before, that some of the students at my university are from underprivileged backgrounds. Some of them are the first one in their families who go to university. So even it's even challenging for them to learn English at a university level. So it's also challenging for teachers to teach them as well. Some of the students cannot read anything in English. They cannot spell, like, um, for example, when they see a word, they don't understand the meaning. Some of them cannot even distinguish um, something like listening from speaking, for example, by just reading the word. So we have the students whose English proficiency level is very low here as well. We have some very good students, but at the same time, we have the students whose English proficiency level is very low. So we have to kind of like work very closely with them, and maybe because my project MSU homeroom. So if you are interested in learning more about my project, you can go to Facebook and go to my Facebook page, MSU homeroom. We organized different activities throughout the year, and we have some activities for students whose English proficiency level is low. They can come and study maybe basic English grammar with us, and like some grammar courses with us. That's what we are doing for the students here, especially those who are from underprivileged backgrounds. So yeah, so I would say that is one of the challenges I am faced with in my daily, you know, yeah, daily work at MSU.
Okay, doctor, I agree somehow, but as a teacher, we always have to find ways on how we want to solve the issue, right?
Right.
On our students. Okay, there is one question from in the comment from Haikal. He said that is people in Thailand speak in English in daily life. Means that they will always communicate in Thailand in Thai or in English.
Well, English is a foreign language in Thailand, so we don't use English in our daily life. Uh, if you live in touristic towns like Chiang Mai or Phuket or even Bangkok, you might have better opportunities to practice and speak English and use English. But if you live in a small town like in Mahasarakam, for example, you have maybe zero opportunity to use English outside of the classroom. Yeah.
Okay, so it means that English is the second language in Thailand. Is it
Foreign language.
fourth
It's a
language?
yeah.
Oh, what is the first and second language? Because in Malaysia, English is the second language.
Yeah, I think partly I think the reason why English is a second language in certain countries because those countries were colonized before, right? So you still like English is still important in communication in those countries. But in Thailand, we don't have a second language. Um, we might have our own dialect, but we speak just one language, that is Thai.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you can teach us some Thailand words for us today. Thailand phrases.
Yeah, you can say สวัสดี สวัสดี สวัสดี
Sawadee.
yeah,
Sawadika.
yeah. So yeah, we use ka for female, like female use ka as the ending to sound more polite. So you can say สวัสดีค่ะ is a polite particle. For a
Sawadee.
guy, yeah, for a guy we use crab, not ka. So like female speakers say สวัสดีค่ะ and male speakers say สวัสดีครับ. Yeah. And
Sawadika. Yes.
and if you want to say thank you, it's ขอบคุณ
Topkunka, is it?
Yeah. So you can say ขอบคุณ
Topkunka.
right.
Okay, someone asked, what is Sawadika means?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's like a polite way to say hello, is it?
Pardon?
Is it like a polite way to say hello?
Yeah, kind of. สวัสดี
You know.
ค่ะ
So it means that you have a same like Korean language because they have one with the polite version and one with the casual version, more casual one.
We have like our language is quite hierarchical. Like you have like something very casual and something very formal. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe Fatia want to ask a few questions. Okay, let's welcome
Okay.
Fatia.
Hi, Patia. Patia.
Maybe you can share our Thai school.
Yes, about Thailand school. Maybe primary and secondary school there.
Uh, well, I wish I could like share pictures or videos of how schools in Thailand, um, you know, run. But usually, um, Thai students, especially the primary school students, they love to play all the time. So they love to play inside the classroom and they love to play during the recess, like the break, the lunch break. They play all the time. They enjoy playing and they don't really enjoy studying. Joking, they love studying as well, but Thai students have time to play, like in schools. So some of them, for example, during lunch break, some of them might play football. Football is very popular in Thailand, and the girls might, like eat and they talk with their friends and play in the shade, and the guys might play, like in the sun, for example. So is it the same in Malaysia?
Yes, I think it's the same actually. But currently, I think that in English we always have to include gamification in teaching English to attract our students. What do you think, Doctor?
You include what in your English
Games,
education?
gamification.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, even for university students, they love games as well. Yeah. Primary school students love playing games a lot. So um, when we teach primary school students, we usually incorporate games or design our lessons to be more fun and involve physical activity. Yeah.
Yes, maybe you can share some kind of games that you always do because back then you always conduct games for us during the class, and we
Yeah,
really enjoy it. Yes.
yeah. Well, actually, I couldn't think of any at the moment. Um, you can always like, for example, if I have to design a lesson, I would think about the learning outcomes, and then I try to incorporate games. For example, you might, for example, if you have to teach your students about the life of bees, life of honeybees, for example, I might start with um, some. I usually ask the students to. I give them like a worksheet with a story of bees, honeybees, and then I ask the students to find a new vocabulary. Like new words or some unseen words, and then they might kind of like highlight the unseen words, and then I ask them to write down the unseen words on a post-it note, and I ask them to post those words in front of the class And later we'll go over those new words together using flashcards, because actually teachers know that those words are unseen or new to their students, right? So you can prepare flashcards before the lesson as well. So you go over those words together using flashcards, and then later you kind of like involve them in pronouncing those words. And later I can do some storytelling uh, by kind of asking the student to come to me one by one, splitting them up into groups, maybe a group of 5, and then give them something that you want them to do. For example, in my class, I might want them to draw a picture based on the thing that they hear, because I'm going to tell them a story. So whatever they hear from the story, they need to go back to their teammates and start drawing, you know, uh, something according to the story that they heard. And yeah, so then they can practice listening and then going back to that team to tell the story, and the team can start drawing the picture based on the story. Yeah, and at the end we'll compare different pictures and see whether they have the same pictures or not. Yeah, and then but this is nothing serious about this. We just like try to encourage them to like work together as a team, like learn together. For example, if one student could not understand the story, he or she could go back to the team and ask that his or her friend to come to me and listen to the same line again, for example. So they can always do this, like take turns coming to me and like get like one or two lines, and then go back to the team. Yeah, so things like that, we can do something like that as well in the classroom.
Question from Radi. What age students start learn English in Thailand?
Me. Let me ask my colleagues. เมย์เด็กเรียนภาษาอังกฤษได้อายุเท่าไหร่ป.1 ปะป.1 ใช่ไหม Yeah, they start learning English when they enter primary school. But usually in kindergarten, they start kind of like getting to know English letters. Yeah. And learn some basic English words.
I think starting from grade 1 or start from preschool, kindergarten.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the same actually in Malaysia education system. Yes. Uh, Question from Nur Harshima binti Muhammad Nur. Is there a streaming in Thai school? Did you stream the class
Pardon?
according to the level of the students? Did you stream the class according to the level of the students?
Um, yeah. Yeah, especially in primary school, I think they kind of like you know uh, divide the students into different groups based on their capacity.
Okay, maybe last question I think from me. Okay. What what do you think will be interesting teaching methodologies that could be shared for all our teachers that join us today that you always do from before until now, or maybe that you prefer do in classroom?
Well, for for intermediate or advanced students, I usually use task-based language learning. Yeah. So whenever I design my lessons, I often use task-based language learning. Uh, like in designing any lessons. But still, I also like use something else, something like station. I yeah. So I do like learning stations quite a lot in my class. Yeah. So then when the students finish, they can leave the classroom anytime. So they can study based on their, own pace. They don't need to wait for others. Mm,
Okay, that's great. It means that like each station has different tasks for the students, is it?
right. Yeah. For example, I might
Okay.
have a listening station, a game station, like Kahoot or quizzes, station. I have a writing station, a reading station, and maybe, some other things as well, depending on the size of the class.
Okay, Dr. Ania. Last question. What are best way to learn English?
The best ways to learn English. Wow. that is that is quite difficult. Um, I think um, if you kind of like incorporate English into your daily life, for example, if you love listening to music, like if you listen to music every day, listen to English music, or if you love uh, watching TV, or movies, watch English movies. If you love reading, start reading English books. If you love speaking, even in your own language, if you love uh, doing a monologue or like speaking alone, like I do that sometimes, like just like talk to myself. So if you love to do that, like, having a dialogue with yourself, you can, switch from your first language to English, for example. Try to, if you, um, kind of like incorporate, like English into your life, it would be kind of like, you don't see English as a burden. So it's like part of you. It's like English is like English becomes a part of you, and you don't feel kind of like stressed that you have to do this and this outside of your interest. If it's out of your interest, don't do it. But if you can incorporate English into your daily life, I think that may be easier. Or something that works for many is to think about your future and see whether your future self, for example, um, if you want to be an ambassador, or if you want to be a Miss Universe, or if you want to be a flight attendant, if you want to be a journalist, for example, uh, I think then you think about the qualifications or the life of a journalist and see whether English is important, for your future self or not. If it's important for your future self, if you need to use English all the time or use English in your work, for example, then you know that it's also important, like for your present self as well. You now. So I think that might help as well. Actually, there are many ways you can do, but yeah, let's just stick with these two at the moment.
Yes, currently choose the best that suits you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question from Nordin Ismail is over there in Thailand, English is important to apply for job.
Yeah, English is very important to apply for jobs. If you want to get, um, like better pay, a well-paid jobs, yeah, English is very important. Like if you can speak English, if you are very proficient and very good at English, you'll get, like well-paid jobs in Thailand.
Okay, I afraid that it is our last question as time is ticking so fast. Thank you so much everyone for lending your ears till the very end. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to all of you who joined us today. And thank you to everyone who has helped make this webinar successful, which are our USDP PPD officers, Escape Abba teachers and students, communities, and all who joined us today. Thank you so much. But don't forget to subscribe to Bagus TV. Okay, before that, you may find the link of attendance in the comment section, or you can just scan the QR code that will be provided by our admin after this. So, I would like to ask for any forgiveness if there is any mistakes or wrongdoings throughout this webinar. So, Dr. Anya, do you have any last words or any last advices to be shared before we end our webinar today?
Um, well, I would say this is a very good way for a school to do for, like other teachers and students and also parents as well, right? Especially for the students like Fatia and many other reporters. I think, yeah, it's important when you kind of like, like engage your student in something like this, especially this is something that takes them away from their comfort zone. Like they have to talk with, like people they have never met before and people they might never meet in real life, but they get to kind of like meet them online. For example, like people who don't live in Malaysia, and like, and they get to do something like this. I think it's very beneficial, and I really, like admire the effort the school and teachers put into helping your students develop like different skills, including confidence and also like English skills. So this is a very good starting point. Yeah, I'm very honored to be here with Fatir, Azira, and everyone. Thanks to all the audience as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the compliments, and I would like to express my deepest gratitude to you, of course, because you are making your time to be with us today. Thank you so much, Dr. Anya Ratnathirapo. Hopefully, we can see again in the future. Before Fatia proceed with the closure, let's watch MSU video again because just now there is technical issue. Let's watch again. Okay, so that will be all from me. Thank you. Okay, sorry for the technical issue. I think that we cannot play the video in the moment, but don't worry. I will upload the video to our YouTube channel so you can watch it from Bagus TV YouTube, TVPSS Escape Abba. So don't forget to subscribe, okay? Okay, so Fatia, promote.
All right. Thank you so much. See you later.
Okay,
Have a good
okay,
day.
Fatia. Yes, Fatia, please proceed with the closure.
That's all for today. Thank you everyone for joining us. That's all from me, Fatia Imani binti Muhammad Shukri from Bagus TV, SK Paba. To the good video shine. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Hi everyone, today we are going to take you around the MSU campus on our bikes. Actually, students can also take a shuttle bus to go around the campus. But today, we are going to bike and stop at some nice part of the MSU campus.
Alors, nous sommes devant le bâtiment RM qui est juste à côté de la faculté des sciences humaines et sociales.
This is University PSR ដែលយើងរៀបចំព្រឹត្តិការណ៍សំខាន់ៗនៅទីនេះ
等一下，我们先在这边拍几张照吧。
Ici, c'est mon endroit préféré parce que j'adore le graffiti ici. Let's go, guys!
I love MSU in the evening.
放学后，学生和老师们都会陆续来这里锻炼身体。
គឺគឺជាបរិវេណសាលាមួយដ៏អស្ចារ្យដែលមានសកម្មភាពជាច្រើនដែលត្រូវធ្វើ
En même temps, c'est super calme, on peut prendre une pause ici et on se sent comme chez soi.